grab your popcorn, grab your decapitated head, get your butter, get your bag of blood. This is the 2022 edition of the 31 Days of Dread, where Peter A. DeLuca, aka Pad, your boy here, the film buff, does one horror movie a day, and that's me talking. I'm your host. I'm not a vampire. I'm almost a zombie because I've just been doing nothing but watching these movies so I can discuss them all with you. But here it is, the 31 Days of Dread. Everyone, I am so excited to bring you these movies. We're doing modern day horror for the first time ever. We're barely even going to hit 2021. We're going to focus on 2022. So roll over in that coffin and let's go. Take two, aka Patters. We're doing this episode again. I just didn't approve the last one. I not enough value, even in a quick 7-minute talk, prepping all of you with episode 503 of this year's, the 2022 31 Days of Dread. Sat down, started creating the new thumbnail, the new logo, because I'm that far behind. I'm usually 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of everything. But sat down, started working on it, started listening to the episode, and was just like, no. So we're here to bring you up to speed. We hit episode 500. We did a race to 500, which was really me highlighting directors and just having fun going through filmographies. I really enjoyed that. We're going to get more of those coming up. So because since I had this dedication to go into like a rebranding, to bring to breathe a little bit more life into the podcast, to get back to dropping clips on social media, all these things, I just had to align them. I had to line them up. More ads, more previews of things. Just me being better at promoting everything that the world of AKAPAD has going for it. So I just fell behind, and now we're like smack middle in the month of October. I haven't dropped anything. I just started releasing episode 500 and the two follow-up episodes. So we're just behind. That's what she said. So let's go into the theme of this year's 31 Days of Dread, and it is maybe my most important theme. It really is. I'll explain. This is all modern day horror. I am going to go deep, that's what she said, into horror of today. And the reason for that, this is my contention. Horror is saving cinema. Long story short, we're not getting anything from drama movies. Comedy is canceled, we'll call it that. Sci-fi is still the concepts. I mean, we saw this with the current Dune movie. The concepts, the real true concepts of sci-fi, just don't. They're not broad. So it really, everything kind of leads like Jack Skellington in that forest. Through the door, there's only one door. There's one door that opens. There's one door left, and that is the door of horror. So we have nothing but young, ready to go, genius, talented filmmakers making horror movies. And every single year, so this goes with almost like baseline number 2 for this podcast, where every single year we get people trashing horror movies. We get YouTube channels dropping videos, episodes of the downfall of horror, the degradation of horror. There's no such thing as good horror anymore, and these are the things that they're like pollen. They just spread across the internet, and it invades our consciousness, and these thoughts and ideas somehow, in some weird way, become reality. And it's beyond me with this current state of how any new filmmaker, new company, new financer, new anything would want to invest in horror, because you would just think that horror sucks and no one understands it. Why would we try? But we get the opposite. We are in a true renaissance of horror, every single year for the 31 Days of Dread, there are some of these newer movies that I completely gush over. And the one thing I'm taking out of this year, and I'm not saying I'm not going to do some of these drops, some of the episode drops, because last year we did the 31 days and I did what I wanted to do in between everything. And then when we're out of October, November hits, we renumber everything. So we just add everything up done in October and we slap a new number on what happens in November. But last year was I think there might have been 45 episode drops in last October. It was a highly productive year. But hey, we're going to beat that. Trust me. So usually with these intro episodes, I'd like to go over my intent. I feel like we just did that. And because horror is, I just want to make this point real quick. And we're going to go through some of the movies. But I just feel like if this is really what horror is doing for cinema, you out there, and I've never made this request before, you have to find these movies and watch them. And you have to promote them. And you probably have to promote this podcast too, just so the word gets out. I'm a part of that word. I feel like my positioning and what I say about a lot of these movies, I feel like the theme for the 31 Days of Dread this year is, it's there. And, it kind of makes me sad. I believe it's a little bit desperate because I can't, maybe White Girl was like the last drama that came out of nowhere and knocked me on my butt. But horror just constantly seems to thrill me to no end. And they keep spinning ideas, like the same ideas just get spun. And we're also in an age where the cement has dried, and we're getting this cross section of every single horror genre at one time. And we're going to see this in the 2022 31 Days of Dread, meaning we're going to get fresh ideas and we're going to get rehashed ideas. And so many of them are just fun and original. But let's just hit it. Starting with number 1, Black Phone. Then we're going to have X, Halloween Ends, Monsters, Hellraiser, Werewolf by Night, Hocus Pocus 2, They, Them, Firestarter, Day Shift, Incantation, Scream, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hellbender, Mad God, Barbarian, Watcher, Studio 666, Men, Dashcam, My Best Friend's Exorcism, Smile, We're All Going to the World's Fair, You Won't Be Alone, Willy's Wonderland, Nick Cage, shout out, Deadstream, You Are Not My Mother, The Innocents, and Pearl. Now look, that doesn't mean I'm going to hit every single one of those movies. But if there's, for whatever reason, and I checked, I have access to all of these movies, but if anything changes by the time I get to a recording, I will add a new movie from a new streaming service. Potentially Tubi. Tubi has all these originals, probably going to be Tubi. The thumbnails will be tagged what streaming service I found the movie on, because I want to go on this journey. Like we're doing it. We're saving cinema through horror, starting with the 2022 31 Days of Dread. Now, look, people, we're doing a lot more things here. You're going to get, hopefully, you're going to get hammered with drops by me, because I'm committed to not extending the 31 Days of Dread into November. We're doing it all in October. So that means the 3, 4, 5, 6 episode drops in some days. We're just going to keep going, keep recording, keep dropping them. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. And please spread the word. Rock and roll. Peter A. DeLuca here, AKAPAD, the film buff, getting ready. The future of film is horror, and thanks for all of that, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. Getting back to my point there, the future is horror. The future of cinema is horror. So everyone here, and I've never ever in all these years, I've never made this request, but everyone that we highlight, every single filmmaker, male, female, ghoul, goblin, you know the drill. But check them out. Find them on a streaming platform. I usually highlight how I watch these movies on which platform, even if I rented it or bought it, so you guys know a little bit of the price range. It's important that we support all of these movies and all of these filmmakers because they are the future. The future is horror. Thanks for hanging out.